Rev up your engines! Okay, sky high car prices, sky high used car prices. This guy just bought this for $3,000 a week ago. It's a Toyota Camry. Yeah, it's got like 167,000 miles on it. He only paid $3 grand. He's doing a few things to it. He's changed ignition coils and stuff, but that's all minor stuff. We're gonna go through and show you, is it a good deal, what you should check out for, and what you should stay away from. Now, to begin with, people are like crows. So, they see the faded paint and more faded paint, so they fly away. It's not a shiny object. They look for a shiny one. Hey, it's a Toyota Camry. That wouldn't bother me. As we look under the hood, it's one of the most reliable engines Toyota ever made. It's an inline 4 ZFE, but it's 2004. 2004, these are not the oil burners. It was later ones. My grandson's 07 Camry, it burns oil. It still runs fine, but it burns oil because the oil control rings are bad. This one doesn't burn oil. It's a pretty well-made vehicle. And being older, 2004, it doesn't have all that fancy modern high-pressure direct injection. It's got regular fuel injectors, low pressure, tried and true engine and transmission. It's an unbeatable 4-speed automatic with overdrive, just like our Matrix. Unbelievable transmission, runs forever. Now, unfortunately, the paint is faded away. They didn't get it perfect. This is an 04, but ours is an 07. They figured it out by them, other than the dust that's on it. The paint's still in phenomenal shape. But take advantage of that. Just like I tell people, when I was living in Houston, a lot of people bought hail damaged cars from Dallas. For some reason, it hailed a bunch in Dallas and not Houston. You buy a hail damaged car, it's got all those dimples. It runs the same, right? But you save a fortune because an insurance company with a totally dimpled car, they're generally going to total it. The whole entire car's covered with dimples, right? Why not take advantage of it? Hey, now if you're looking at one of these, hey, they got timing chains in them, so you don't have to worry about a rubber timing belt. The 1V belts are easy to get to. You see, it's been changed recently. The struts, you can now get KYB complete struts, cheap enough. If they do wear out, these aren't worn out yet, but you can just bolt them on and bolt them off because they do have KYB replacements. If you saw my video, I recently put it on the Matrix. I just came back from Rhode Island to Tennessee, and let me tell you, they ride like a dream. Now, as we look around, you're going to have scrapes here and there. Hey, it's an old car, right? But check it out. Those are hubcaps, right? They're over steel rims, but do they look bad? No, they look perfectly fine until you kick them, and here they aren't. Who cares? They look fine. And if you're a cheapskate like me, they're better. Because if you hit a bump or something, that's steel. You can get a ball peen hammer, you can hit them and you can bend them back straight. Try that with aluminum alloy wheels. They will snap. Now, there are guys that rebuild aluminum alloy wheels, but see what really happens. You bring in one that's relatively bent, they'll say, yeah, we can fix it. And then they'll say, oh, well, it was really a lot of work. We had to re-weld, la, 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 la. And then they're going to charge you probably $100, $200 a piece. Steel ones can last forever. And truthfully, the difference in gas mileage is almost nothing. Yeah, the aluminum ones theoretically weigh a little bit less, but actually they don't. Because the steel ones, steel's strong, it can be thin. The aluminum ones have to be a lot thicker, otherwise they will break. And since steel bends and the aluminum will snap more often, you're better off with steel rims anyways. You can put whatever hubcaps on you want. And if you're a nutcase, like a guy that brought me a vehicle here the other day, he went to one of these discount tire stores, and they were even a sale on fancy rims that they had left over from old cars, costing $50 a piece for new rims, and they look beautiful. But they hadn't sold them, and they said, well, we got to get rid of these things. How about $200 for all four? He bought them, and they look nice. So, you know, you can always add that kind of stuff on later. What you care about is the car in good shape? Has it been wrecked? Has it been flooded? He bought in Smyrna, Tennessee, but it was in Kentucky, and as you can see, there's not really any rust. It is pretty much a southern car, but these didn't have particular rust problems anyway, because Toyota knew how to dip stuff. And as you look, everything is still solid. Sure, yeah, it's got superficial rust, but that's just superficial. It's still really solid. And you can see, it's still got the original exhaust system on it. But you never know, so we'll go to the right rear tire, okay? We got 3 fingers clearance. Let's go to the left rear. What do we have over here? 3 fingers clearance. That's great. It's a big wreck. Bent stuff, when it's bent, you're going to have different distances between the tire and the body. And there is no different distances. Now, if you're ever road testing a car and it's really bad, and you notice that it's kind of swaying like it's doing a dance, leave the car alone and go somewhere else. Unless you see the tires are all bubbled and worn out. He bought new tires for this anyways, just to be on the safe side. Tires, like 5, 6, 7 years, about the max you can get out of them, and tires aren't that bad. Get a set of decent tires when you're going to buy a car. You don't buy a car expecting to have brand new tires, and let's say you're looking at a car and it does have brand new tires. If it does, have a guy like me check the car for sure, because a lot of times it's got problems. And then they put new tires to mask the problems. And then you'll find out 1,000, 2,000 miles later, the tires are all worn weird and it's doing shaking and shimmying. So it's kind of better buying it with older tires on it. Then you know, hey, it's riding good, it runs good on the old tires. Then if you want, put new tires on it. Brand new tires on a used car, always red flag, warning that there could be something wrong. We'll check the inside, and the inside's got what I like best. Fabric seats. Look, old seats, right? They're 21 years old. Even the driver's side is not worn out. Fiber seats are the way to go if you want long life. And of course, we go to the back. There's perfectly clean too. You can see there's his manual. These Haynes manuals are great. They don't make them anymore for new cars, but they got them for old cars. You can learn a lot with a Haynes manual. Car, but it's still got power seats, CD player, ooh, and even a tape deck. Simple AC. Single control, because it's an older car, very easy to put from one mode to the next. And there's the automatic transmission, and there's the overdrive switch. Nice mechanical parking brake that will last forever. Power windows, power mirrors, and as I said, 172,000 miles on it. I've seen these things with 372, so that's no reason to check, and the AC blows cold. The truth of the matter, the giant scan tool, let's see what shape this thing is in. And even though it's an older car, the new Autel is going to work on it because it is backdated. It does all the old stuff too. And I gotta say, I'm blown away by this Maxxis Ultra S2. It's the new version. Check out codes on it. Okay, we got the code for the heater control circuit, high bank 1, sensor 1. So, the front oxygen sensor has got the heating element out. But this Camry now lives in Tennessee. They don't do any kinds of emissions, so you don't have to waste your money. If you live in a state that does emissions inspections, you would have to replace the #1 oxygen sensor. The heater circuit is gone. What that does is when you start the car from cold, it heats the oxygen sensor up faster so it doesn't pollute the first minute you drive the car. This will run perfectly fine. Sure, it takes a minute to warm up, but since they don't do emissions inspecting here, I wouldn't even waste any money on it. It's not like the sensor isn't working. The sensor itself is doing its job. The heater inside just isn't warming it up fast enough. Start the car up, what do you get? Hot exhaust. The hot exhaust warms it up pretty quickly. Like I say, a minute or so, so who cares? But we'll erase it anyways, just for kicks. We'll start it back up. And we'll do live data, see what shape the vehicle's in. Remember, black is good, red is bad. Let's check it out. He did say his long-term fuel trim, it was adding 7%. Before it was adding a lot more until he fixed it, but now it's adding 7. So here's Bernie's ATF 505 fuel system cleaner. We're going to put a can in, and a lot of times it works pretty fast, but you should give it like a couple hundred miles driving. So we'll remember that's at 7.03 now. We'll look at some more stuff. We'll take it for a spin. And the oxygen sensor voltage is going up and down like it should, so it's working. It's just that the heating system doesn't work. The long-term fuel trim has already gone down to 6.25 within 5 minutes of driving the car. That's insane. So a recap here, when he bought it, it was plus 14. He changed the ignition coils, the spark plugs, and the camshaft position sensor. He changed all three, and it went from 14 to 7. And now it's dropping even further with Bernie's cleaner. It's an old car. The injectors are certainly dirty. The valves are dirty. They could need a carbon cleaning. Here we go with the spin. The AC's nice and cold. No backup camera, but it's got a window in the back, so what do we care? You know how to drive? It's still a smooth running car, let me tell you. You got a deal for $3 grand. You could barely feel that shift. It's so smooth. Like I said, these 4-speed automatics are insane. And it does have the overdrive button. You can turn it off, you can turn it on. I leave it on, get better gas mileage. If you're towing something heavy, you could leave it off if you wanted to. Take some corners here. Now, it does corner kind of like a boat, but that's how these things did when they were brand new. They weren't racing suspension. The new Camrys, especially the TRDs, really handle a lot better, right? But it's an old car, almost 200,000 miles, and it's still smooth. They sold them kind of noisy tires. He was wondering about those tires. The tire design, as far as I'm concerned, was a little bit too radical on this, and they're kind of noisy. I mean, it's no big deal. You turn the radio up, but I would want quieter tires if it was me. Of course, works fine. The ABS system has no codes. The ABS still works. So we'll take it to our little drag strip here and realize it's a 4-cylinder engine, but it's got enough power to pilot this thing around most places. Some guys like the V6 engines because they have a lot more horsepower, but they also use up more gasoline. And as they age like this, they generally need a lot more work than the solid 4-cylinder does. So, okay, there's nobody behind us. Here we go. It gets up and goes. No race car. But even at high RPMs, you can barely feel the shift. That's how solid built these things are. Do not be afraid buying one of these cars with 170,000 miles on it. You really don't have to be afraid of it. As long as you check it out and make sure it wasn't wrecked or flooded. And this one wasn't. Worried about safety, still got airbags. Still a nice smooth ride down the countryside to the cornfields. You got a deal for $3 grand, I'm telling you that. And it was just a private sale. The people had bought it from the original owner with 80,000, and they sold it to him with like 170,000 on it. As you saw with the data, the engine doesn't have misfires. The only thing is the heated oxygen sensor on bank 1, the first one before the catalytic converter. Hey, the heater doesn't work anymore. Who cares? It runs perfectly fine. Now I shifted it down to run a little faster because I want to clean the engine out with Bernie's cleaner to see what happens. If you drive normal, it'll clean it, but if you drive it at higher RPMs, it'll run the cleaner through better. The faster they spin, it's going to clean out any gunk in the fuel injectors and on the valves if you drive it a little bit faster. And like I said, we're only doing 42 miles an hour now, but if you shift it down, the RPMs are the same as if you're going 80 miles an hour, and you don't have to take any danger. Taking the big curve here, no problems at all. Still a great smooth running vehicle. Yeah, the paint's faded away on the hood and the trunk, but yeah, what can you do? AC still freezing cold. I've only got it on low and it's 90 outside. Smooth idle. Parking brake works, everything works. Power door locks still work. Power windows still work. CDs and tapes, they still work too. Me, I take this out and put an Android in so I can use Android Auto and get everything on the screen. I recently bought an Eonon, E-O-N-O-N, for 140 bucks on Amazon. Put it in the Matrix, works like a charm. See, we're driving it in low gear. Cleaning things out a bit. You do the same thing by driving on the highway, but I don't have the time for that right now. Does the same thing driving at low speeds in low gear at high RPM. The whole thing is the engine spinning faster and the cleaner will work through better. It's cleaning so well, the short-term fuel trim is 0. Now realize the long-term fuel trim is exactly what it says, long-term. You got to drive it a long time for it to really show anything up, but the fact that that's at 0 now shows that, hey, this thing is really cleaning it through. And that should solve any of its problems. Get a little bit better gas mileage too if it's running better. So there you have it, a $3,000 used car. And sure, it's not perfect. The paint's faded on the hood, on the roof, and on the trunk, but it still runs good. The seats are in excellent shape. If you take time like he did, you can find stuff. He noticed around Nashville, anything under 200,000 miles like this was going for 5, 6, 7,000. He found this for $3 from a private seller, and hey, he got a good deal. It's a great transportation car. You can modify it if you want, or you can just drive it till the wheels fall off, and you might find out that your wheels will fall off before this thing comes apart. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.